You do not need your high school diploma or GED to get your real estate license, but the courses and the exams are hard as hell.
Young adults of my age have this thing of like wanting to be everything at once. So sometimes I catch myself like thinking that I'm not doing enough, but then I just have to, stay grounded.
It's like not an option to be scared. You have to be confident in what you do. You have to believe in yourself. Okay, because if you're scared and insecure or doubt yourself, it's gonna come off to potential people or clients. Owning real estate, having an asset like that you can use as collateral, that you can leave as a legacy, is very important.
Hey, it's your host and your girl, Blessing B, and welcome back to the Blogging with B podcast. After last week's amazing introduction into my December series, Post-A-Thon, when I drop one episode every week for the month as a gift to myself and my viewers. On last week's episode, we had Fameta on the show. We had such a fun time speaking on all of her great topics, from post-grad life to her lucky girl charm, her social media influence, and how she became a freelancer in a sense. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. It's out on YouTube and on all streaming platforms. But for today's episode, I already sense a few similarities between last week's conversation: money, freedom, and stability. And honestly, when it comes to leveling up in life, those are the three basic things you need for your foundation: the square footage and the property value of every major decision we make. And speaking of value, our guest today didn't just show up. They put in their closing cost, secured the right pre-approvals, and handled every little piece of paperwork it took to where they are now. This is episode 2, Generational Real Estate. Welcome, Estrella and Ryan. How are you guys doing today?
Thank you for having me. And thank you you did way better than a lot of people saying my name. But my name is Estrella. Carter. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I'm Ryan.
Talk about yourselves. We're going to start off with Estrella. I would like for you to tell the people who you are, how you are as like a local Minnesota native, and a little bit more about your real estate journey.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So just to give you a background, I was born and raised in Minnesota. I am a third generation. And I grew up in a restaurant business. So I grew up around entrepreneurs. The restaurant is still around. And then my mother and my grandmother, they were involved in purchasing real estate, residential and commercial. But they did not go to college. And since I was the first grandchild, my grandmother was like, "You're going to go to college." So I attended the University of Minnesota. And there I got my bachelor's and my master's degree. And I got my master's in social work. And that's where I started working with community, and I really helped the community with education, employment, and housing. Mm-hmm. And next level, not just basic. It's just like, okay, we're going to get you this job, but then let's get you some certifications so you can advance with your job. And the same with ownership. I wanted to help people. Okay, we got you housing, but let's think about your future and building generational wealth. So as a social worker, I did that. I did that for about 15 years. And then after that, it was just in my blood, coming from a family of entrepreneurs. I fulfilled that they wanted me to go to college. I did that. Mm-hmm. And it was challenging. Let me back up again. While I was in college, I was married. I had 2 kids, internship, worked. I don't know how I did all that now.
Can I actually ask you, so what year did you go to college, actually?
So I graduated in 2001 with my bachelor's, and then I graduated in 2005 with my master's.
Okay, so you started school in the 90s?
Yes.
Okay, so then like...
97.
So with you going to school in the 90s, like how was life like back then? And then like also being able to get married so young? Because I know like a lot of people were getting married and having families like early on then, like compared to now, like what's the difference between those two?
Well, wow. If you want to be honest, like again, it's about family. I come from a culture of like just wanting to, just please. So like we got married because it was like, okay, you guys are going to get married.
Yeah.
So I'm on my second marriage while I'm older now. So I was
Okay.
young. We were too
Yeah.
young. We were young.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
Yeah.
say we were too young to get married, but we did it to please our families.
Yeah. I
Okay.
know what you mean.
So just like the college thing, which is I appreciate going to college and having that opportunity as well.
Mhm.
But so I did things in a non-traditional way. Again, having my first child my freshman year of college, but again, I had that support, that
Mm.
family support.
Yeah.
Luckily, my grandmother was still alive, so she took care of my daughter. My daughter's 28 years old now, but my grandmother was like, since I wanted you to go to college, don't worry about childcare. You just go and live that college life.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to go full time. I joined a sorority. It was fun. I was able to, as a non-traditional student, I was still able to live that college life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so then in '05, I graduated with my master's. I worked in the community serving, Ramsey County, Dakota County, just serving a vast, diverse population. And I don't regret that. I mean, I learned so much about humanity.
Mhm.
I worked with, immigrants and refugees, and I worked with all types of people from different socioeconomic backgrounds. I even worked with dislocated workers. So I worked with folks that had master's degrees and PhDs, but they lost their jobs and careers. So I had to, help them because they were also kind of going through like crisis and mental health, issues as well. So
Mhm.
I worked with so many people, and I just love that because that shaped me into being a great realtor.
Mhm.
So I've been a realtor for about 5 years now,
Mhm.
and I just love it. I think this was the right time for me to do it. I don't think I would have been ready to do that in my 30s. And there's a lot of different reasons. And maybe later on, I don't want to get off topic, but maybe through your questions that will, you know, I can, share, all those different reasons as well, of why I waited. But what's important to me right now is just helping underrepresented folks find or get access to housing. So,
Mhm.
assisting first time home buyers, assisting first generation home buyers, assisting certain communities that feel like they can't do it, but
Mhm.
being that resource for them to help them access those opportunities is very important to me as a woman of color and as a businesswoman of color as well.
Yep.
So, but again, maybe it's because of my being older and also having my own, we call it in real estate SOI, your sphere of influence. But I have, I've been on boards, I've had a career, I have a lot of connections. So I'm able to have a lot of different clientele at different levels,
Yeah.
$1 million clients as well. One thing is for new realtors, you may not automatically get those, high profile clients unless you're connected, maybe you're connected, but I've seen it with certain realtors where they get because of their mom and dad, certain privilege,
Yeah.
maybe through privilege too.
Yeah.
But I've had to work hard as well. And in Minnesota, it's different. In the state of Minnesota, for realtors of color, you can only go so far. So
Mhm.
some of my business partners of color, they get their license in addition in Florida or California or Arizona
Yeah.
because there's more opportunity for them to make more money.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the houses in Minnesota, luxury homes are about, 1 to 3 million. But when you're going to Cali, Florida, there's
Yeah.
homes for 10, 15 million,
Yeah. They got big
So
money over
yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy it. It's just important. You have to be confident in what you do. You have to, it's not a job. You don't have a boss. You don't get paid regularly. So you have to just be out there connecting with people, and building that trust.
Beautiful. I'd like to pass the mic over to Ryan. We'd like for you to introduce yourself. You are a 19-year-old soon-to-be real estate agent. I don't know all the terms, but please let us know who you are and why you're here.
My name is Ryan. I grew up in Brooklyn Center. Uh, I lived there for like a good amount of time until I turned 15. My family moved out to St. Michael.
Mhm.
I didn't really think about real estate or doing real estate when I was in high school. That idea came to mind actually because I was working with Estrella's uncle, Cheeto. I was working at a roofing company, and then I was asking him questions about kind of carpeting work, and I was asking him because I was talking about housing and like flipping housing and stuff like that. And then he mentioned how his niece is a real estate agent,
Mm.
and she has a very um broad perspective on like all of that stuff. So he gave me her contact, and then we started talking ever since. And it's been going great.
Wow,
Yeah,
a simple connection just brought you guys together.
yeah,
So, like, what are your plans for your future in like real estate, especially being first gen? You're technically first gen,
yeah.
West African, Liberian, be
Mhm.
specific, clock that. But
Right.
first gen real estate, like, what are your plans?
Uh, yeah. I'm really just taking it one day at a time, but my plans are hopefully I can be as seasoned as she is right here next to me. So yeah, really, I just want to attack it and be the best real estate agent I can be and help people because purchasing homes is a very big decision that everyone is going to have to make eventually in their lives. So
Hmm. Hmm. So the mic's gonna be passed back to you, Estrella. When it comes to real estate and like when it comes to real estate and generational wealth, how do those two go hand in hand? And why do people like our age need to start talking about things like that?
Absolutely. Well, like I mentioned before, historically, there's people of color. Well, let me bring it up. African Americans and Africans have the lowest home ownership rate
Mm-hmm.
in the United States, and it's really low here in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is it that we have? So having owning real estate, having an asset like that you can use as collateral, that you can leave as a legacy, is very important. You know how people invest in stocks or people invest in this or that or products. Real estate isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we all need somewhere to live. We all need to go into a business or we need to go into a store. So I also help with commercial. I have clients that have businesses and I help them access commercial businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sense of pride and independence when you have real estate, you know. Um, and I'm here to fill that gap and again to be that resource. And again, it's just like why keep paying rent to someone else, to help them pay their mortgage
Mm-hmm.
when you can be doing that on your own. So again, I just really think it's important for legacy, pride, independence. So those are kind of like the three things that are how it's connected with real estate and
Mm-hmm.
generational wealth.
For someone who's not in real estate but wants to be educated on it, what do you think are the best steps to take to put themselves in position so they can be able to obtain as much wealth and the best housing for themselves and their family?
Well, talk to someone like me.
Mhm.
I find it imperative to educate my buyers, my sellers. I'm the expert. So I think it's just about connecting with somebody that you trust and that wants to offer a meaningful relationship to guide you
Mhm.
in that direction. So I would say, talk with a realtor or, uh, take there's a lot of nonprofits that offer classes
Mhm.
on home ownership and real estate. So I would go that route as well.
So the mic's gonna be passed back to you, Ryan. Could you talk a little bit more about your experience so far and what you've been learning throughout your programs and where you're currently in with your trajectory of finishing the program?
okay, yeah. I've learned basically about the ground rules of obtaining property and all of the kind of fine lines between like what really is real property, real estate, and all of that. And yeah, so I'm on my first unit of three. I'm about to finish my first unit, so I'm gonna
Yay!
move on to the next one,
Mhm.
which is basically it's just 30 hours of studying, and then you take a test at the end
Mhm.
to get your license, essentially. So
Well, it's a total of 90 hours though.
yeah,
Right now
yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
doing, yeah, so it's 30, 30, 30. It's
Yeah,
three
30
courses.
courses. Yeah,
Okay. And that's just for the first unit, or is that
30,
the
so his
first is 30,
Mhm,
uh-huh.
second one is 30 hours, third one's 30. So in total, it's 90 hours to
Okay.
complete. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. it seems. I don't want to say it seems simple, but that's just like from our outside perspective. Like the
It's not.
hour.
It's not simple. And do you know what's so interesting?
Mhm.
This should actually be a trivia question, but I'll just share.
Yeah.
You do not need your high school diploma or GED to get your real estate license, but the courses and
Mhm.
the exams are hard as hell. Like actually, you take two exams. You
Yeah.
take a national and a state,
Oh.
Yeah.
and so it's so that's the trick. They'll say, oh, you don't have to. Because I there's a teacher in Minneapolis that she teaches a career class, and every year she's asked. She says, someone wants to be a realtor. Can you mentor them?
Yeah.
And stuff. And sometimes there's this one student that I was mentoring. He says, "Well, maybe I can. I don't even really need to get my GED or my high school diploma. I can just drop out and be a realtor." I'm like, "No, no, get it. You still need that.
Yeah.
Just look. Like I said, I have a master's degree, and it was difficult.
Exactly.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. So passing the mic back to you, Stellar. When it came to your personal experience, from the '90s shifting to the 2000s, going to college at the University of Minnesota, how was that experience like, especially with you being a woman of color?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I was very blessed to have a program at the U of M. It was called General College. And that general college was out at East Bank, and that was a college for non-traditional students. So the non-traditional students were the first generation to attend college,
Mhm.
immigrants, student parents. So I had that hub of support at that college. That college no longer exists, kind of controversial. There's some people that are like, we don't want that because it wasn't really, something that a lot of colleges had. That was something unique that the U of M had. It was called
Mm.
General College,
Mhm.
and it was like a stepping stone. So you get in there and you work on your generals, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of supports there. The Upward Bound program was in there as well. There's another program that I forgot what it was called, like Upward Bound, and then something else. I forgot. But anyways, so having that, there was like a parent help center. So there was different programs for different students within that college.
Mhm.
So that was really helpful. And then I joined a sorority. So that was very helpful. It was the first Black Greek women's sorority,
Really?
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Kamala is AKA.
Oh,
Kamala yeah.
really?
So that was that was helpful as well.
Mhm.
What else? Yeah, I think things didn't seem so fast paced,
Yeah, I
you
can
know.
imagine.
And like I said, I was a lot younger. I like today I can only focus on real estate, but then I was working full time, going to college, doing internships, juggling, homeowner as well. I bought my first house at 24 years old
Mm.
and going to college as well. So there's a lot. Like I'm like, wow.
Mhm.
That's probably why I'm having the body pains and stuff like that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Putting my body through all that trauma.
But I feel
No, it
like
was a good
I
trauma.
mean, it was worth it though
Yeah,
in the
no, yeah,
end,
oh, it
especially
was.
like where you're at right now in your
Oh,
life and everything.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because with real estate, your clients aren't just given to you. So I'm with Coldwell Banker Realty, but they just oversee my license. I have to get out there and get my own clients, or
Mhm.
else I'm not going to get paid. So having my point of that is just building. I tap into my connections from years and years and years of connections with folks. So I'm always out there on my LinkedIn posting stuff, on
Mm.
Facebook. I'm
Yeah.
making phone calls. I'm creative with starting my own podcast. I
Yeah.
have a magazine. Where's my magazine? Oh, can you grab the magazine? I
Wait,
want
can
to
you
show
tell
them.
us about your podcast? What's the name of your
So
podcast?
Keys with the House Lady.
Keys with
So
the House.
yeah,
Oh, that's
so that's my name. I'm
cute.
the house lady.
Uh-huh.
You got to market yourself. So this is one
Yes.
of my magazines that I started. It's spendy, but it's an investment.
It's
And I've
worth
and
it
I've actually
though.
it is
Mhm.
actually. I sent this magazine to one of my really good friends' mom, and then she called me. She's just like, I want you to sell my house, and I sold a couple houses off this magazine, so it was worth it.
Yeah.
I made off these magazines. I made about 50 off two magazines. I made about $50,000 because I sold two houses.
Ooh.
I made about 50,000. So,
Wow.
um, yeah. So, and these magazines, I get. So this company mails them out to. I have like a list of people I want them to mail to, and then they give me some when I drop them off to like my dentist and
Yeah.
where I get my massages. Other businesses. So,
Oh,
and then my
yeah.
clients that own businesses, I mail these magazines to them as well.
Yeah.
So,
I see that.
yes, absolutely. And I don't know what I mean. I'm probably getting off subject because you were asking me about.
No, you're good. I mean,
Yeah,
this
you're asking me about.
conversation's flowing.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Uh, but yeah, getting back to the college. I know the U of M is so huge, but it didn't feel big because I had that support there back then. I don't know how it is now. And then when I worked on my master's degree, I was in a smaller campus, and then I was at the School of Social Work in St. Paul campus, and that was really supportive. Just being in the School of Social Work as
Mhm.
well. We were all a bunch of social workers, and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah. And I'm still connected with like mentors from college and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Ryan, what's your experience been post high school? Because you graduated like 2 years ago?
Yeah, 24.
24?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's literally been like under a year ish. How has that experience been for you so far?
It's been good. It's been cool.
Hmm.
I think kids, well, young adults my age
Hmm.
have this thing of like wanting to be everything at once. So sometimes I catch myself like thinking that I'm not doing enough, but then I just have to, stay grounded and just lock in on the one thing I'm doing, which is real estate.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being a 19-year-old. So it's been going cool. I feel like uh, you can't get lost in a lot at this point of time when like post high school, but it's been going good for me. Thanks to Estrella too.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I appreciate him saying that because sometimes I'm gonna be honest. Like sometimes my husband or my mom, I'm real close with my mom as well, and they'll tell me I'm still kind of that way, Ryan. Like where I want to do so much, and they'll be like, "Okay, here." I don't know if it's like the
Yeah.
ADHD in me because there's a joke that with that, like you must because I'm the same way, and I'm 46 years old, so
Mhm.
it's very important just being able to stay focused. But I like that in you because again, I see younger generations that don't have that don't think that way.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
really just laxed and,
Mhm.
so that's a good,
Yeah.
attribute for you to have, and I appreciate that, especially since Ryan's gonna be, joining me in real estate. Those are things I'm looking at.
Right.
I wanna see, someone, be serious about it, have that energy, be proactive,
Mhm.
and so that's important.
So
Thank you.
do you already have like a wait, were you gonna say something, Ryan?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, do you already have like a team of people that you kind of work with, or
So,
how do you kind of
I'm
do
gonna
that?
be so coming the new year,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be starting my team, and it's
Okay.
so interesting how that happened too. So it's
Congratulations.
gonna be a mix of seasoned and new, realtors as well.
Yeah.
So, Ryan's gonna be not Brian, Ryan is gonna be, like, my first new realtor,
Yeah.
and then I have a couple of, business partners that are gonna be
It was really
luckily
exciting.
that yeah, we're talking about, joining the team as well.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of advantages with, having a team. I'm going to be, there coaching and offering support. I mean, I even do that with my business partners they call me and they're confused and frustrated and everything. So
Mhm.
that's what made me say, I need to create my own team because since I've been a realtor, I've had other realtors call me
Mhm.
and ask me for help and ask me for
Yeah.
questions and stuff. So, uh, and I'm excited because I've always been kind of like a mentor and teacher because I had supportive mentors and teachers. So when I was a social worker, I advanced to since I had got my master's, I was a director. So I had supervisees and things like that, and I had
Mhm.
staff. So uh, it's nothing new being there to help people, develop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations
Yeah,
again. Yeah, this is
thank
gonna be
you.
really exciting. I feel
Yeah.
like 2026 is bringing like a lot of great things for a lot of people.
Yes.
So I'm really gonna be up to date with that, and I also do want to come to one of your events too. I want to see what it's like
Yeah,
to be in the
absolutely.
world of real estate and everything.
Yeah, and I was speaking of events too. I used to. Well, I used to for the last 4 years I had in my community something called a fall festival.
Okay.
And it was just in my community, and I hosted it in my backyard, and it was just another way of marketing.
Mhm.
But it was this big festival, and people, that I knew, but also people just from the community would come, and it was a free event.
Yeah.
Um, and I used to have, I kind of stopped doing it because it was I didn't know the right. Sometimes I wouldn't do it the right month, and then I wouldn't get everyone to show up. But I used to have something called a
Mm.
client appreciation party.
Okay.
So I did that for a while, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm over that. But now, and I might still do it again, but it just
The
takes some of these
timing.
things. Yeah, it all depends
Yeah.
on how I'm feeling, which season, how I'm feeling.
Exactly.
But I'm going to be putting a commercial property on the market next month,
Mhm.
and that property is a retail property, and it's $1 million. It's going to be going for a couple $1 million. But what
Yeah.
I'm going to do with my business partner, she is certified in commercial.
Yeah.
She's my co-list agent, so I'm the lead agent. But then I was like, I need someone that is a little bit more has more experience in commercial.
Yeah.
So Deanna and I, we were like, okay, how are we going to introduce this property? So what we're going to do, this property has a restaurant in it, a restaurant and a bar.
Mhm.
So I spoke with the owner, and I said I would like to have something called a broker's open on a Tuesday during the lunch hour. So the owner said, well, I'm usually closed, but I'll come open it for you guys so you can have a private party. So this broker's open is going to be for real estate agents, commercial
Oh.
real estate agents.
Yeah.
So they can come see the property, have lunch, and then hopefully bring a buyer for the property.
Oh. That's a smart way of marketing, actually.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. So yeah, there's always with real estate, there's always something going on, and planning with marketing and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, and then my business partner Fatu and I, we're going to be going to LA January 11th through the 15th for a real estate retreat.
Ooh. They have
Yeah.
retreats?
Yes, I know. It's going to be
Okay,
our
this
first
is
time.
serious.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called a real estate retreat, not
Yeah.
seminar. So we're going to be going to LA for that,
Mhm.
and the topic is about being top producer. They're going to talk to us about being top producers.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to start off the new year,
Yeah.
especially again, it's starting. I'm going to be introducing my team in the
Mhm.
new year as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I have a lot of plans, for Ryan as well. When he introduces himself, I have to, I have an outline of things for him to get, his photo shoot, and for him to make sure, that he has the right supports as well. So
Mhm. When it comes to marketing yourself in this day and age, like I really love your magazine. Just another quick close up of it. This is very, very beautiful and really well put
thank
together.
you. I'll give you one.
Yeah, I definitely need one. I have some inspirations after this, honestly. So when it comes to like marketing in this day and age, why do you think it's so important? And like for someone who, let's say a person, they want to market themselves, but they're kind of scared to step out that box, like how can they push themselves forward to get to like this level, whether it's real estate or whatever field they're in?
Okay, well, I can only talk about real estate, but I would just give
Okay.
advice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give advice to people that are in general as well, but
Mm.
the number one thing is that you have to be, it's like not an option to be scared, you have to be confident in what you do. You have to believe in yourself. Okay. Because that's going to, if you're scared and insecure or doubt yourself, it's going to come off to potential people or clients.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. I experience anxiety. For no reason. I'm all in my head sometimes. But
Yeah.
then I have to give myself a talk and breathe and say, I have to believe in myself, and I'm not gonna have that imposter syndrome. Like I belong here.
Yeah.
This is where I belong. My ancestors worked hard, to come here and to make sure I belong here, and so that's not gonna get taken away from. So that's the talk that I give. Number one, believe in yourself. You belong where you're at. And also just whatever you're in, you have to be the expert at that. So I'm the house lady. I'm the expert. And the reason why I call myself the house lady is because I do a lot of different things. My mom and I have a YouTube channel where we're cooking, I have cleaning tips,
Yeah.
a lifestyle, eating good, or taking care of yourself, decorating. I'm a certified home stager.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's called sorry, I
You
got so many different things. It's called the house, yeah, at House Lady Carter. Yeah, at House Lady
At
Carter.
House Lady Carter.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's House Lady Carter.
Okay.
So I know I have all these different. I have podcast websites and
No,
things like
that's
that. So
very interesting though.
yeah.
Like I will check out your YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah.
On
Thank you. And all that information's in my magazine as well.
Oh,
Like
that's
I have
even
all.
more
I have the list of
perfect.
like all those things.
This is the best way to market yourself. Like you have everything compacted in here. This is really
Yeah.
good. Okay.
But it's about being consistent.
Mhm.
So for the new year, my goal is to be consistent on these platforms.
I agree.
You know, because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm behind on my podcast. I'm behind on my YouTube.
Mhm.
But it's challenging because I need to also make money, you know. So I think the number one thing is reaching out to my network, making those phone calls. You know, we got to make, and I'll tell, teach Ryan that too. We have to pick up the phone and don't think you're bothering someone, but pick up the phone and start calling people,
That's
because
true.
you have to be, so to marketing, you want to be relevant because let's say you have a cousin, they know you're a realtor, but then they're at work and they're talking with their coworker, and their coworker's just like, I want to sell my house, but I'm nervous about selling my house. And then your cousin doesn't forgets to mention that, oh, my cousin's a realtor.
Oh.
Now, I've had stuff like that happen before.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, I'll see something like on Facebook or someone that close to me that's why is this person? But that's fine,
Yeah, yeah.
it's fine.
Mhm.
But being relevant, but it's not cheap being a realtor. It's not cheap. I invest a lot of money in marketing.
Mhm.
So, I have, what else? I do things like on, what is it? Through algorithms, I pay companies to put my advertisement out. Yeah, that
Oh.
costs money. So I invest some time. You don't have to do that. There's some realtors that don't do that, but
Mhm.
I'm saying, I spend marketing, it can cost money.
Mhm.
But it can, like I said, the magazine, that helped. Uh, but other than that, yeah, it's just being with marketing, it's just being relevant, being confident, smart marketing.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's about it. I
Okay.
guess for that. I might be missing something, but
No,
I
I
don't
think this
know.
is all pretty good information though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just confidence and being unique.
Yeah.
There's so many realtors. There's so many realtors. We have way too many realtors, but it's about how do I stand out?
Yeah.
I'm the house lady. I focus on really helping with helping people access real estate.
Mhm.
So, generational wealth, helping those first time home buyers, helping those sellers that are have anxiety about selling their home. So it's all about presentation,
Mhm.
showing up,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You just gave me a boost of confidence.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So
I'm
the
glad.
what were you gonna
Thank
say?
you. I said I'm glad. Thank you.
No, like,
Yeah.
cause you're a very confident woman, and I see it just like by the way you walk in, the way you dress. It's very minimal, but everything stands out, and it's really impressive, and it's
Well, I
eye
come
opening
from a
for me.
lineage of fiery women,
Yeah,
of confident women. So
yeah.
that helps out too.
Mhm.
So I think in our family the women are the strong ones that we're the backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that.
So,
So the next segment we're going to be going over to is the kind of like the Q&A where me and Ryan ask you just like a few questions.
but you guys were already asking me questions.
We
So
technically were. That's what I was thinking too. We technically were,
yeah,
but
but you're on
there's
again.
just like one particular question that I did want to ask, and then Ryan, you can have the floor. So I remember we were on the group FaceTime prior to like us putting together this episode, and you mentioned something about a home stager. You're saying like you were the person who like sets up the home, picks out the furniture, picks out the layout, the colors, and everything, and that really had me interested because like I'm deeply like I'm in love with like the 70s and the 60s and how they would have those what do they call the conversation pits and stuff like that when it comes to homes. So that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said home stager, and then the word interior design came into my mind too. So like my question is, how does like home staging and interior designing kind of go hand in hand?
Oh, good question. Well, for one, I'm not an interior designer because I don't want to take away from the years of schooling that interior designers do.
Yep.
But I do again come from my grandmother and my mother. Uh, they would purchase homes and fix them up.
Yeah.
So I was able to grow up and watch them turn something that was a rehab home into something beautiful. So having these two women that were really fashionable and stylish, so I grew up with that.
Mhm.
And then I started doing it before I was even a realtor because
Mhm.
I owned. Even though I was a social worker, I still needed to make more money just raising my kids. I was, single, I was divorced, and I was raising my kids in Woodbury, and
Mhm.
still it was expensive. So I started a cleaning company. I had people work for me, but
Yeah.
then I also offered with realtors. Realtors would call us and say, can we get these houses clean? And then I'm always thinking about how I can develop and make things better. So then I started staging. I'm
Mm.
like, do you need, decorating done?
Yeah.
So that's really also what made me want to become a realtor, was because I was helping them, get these houses sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it started with that. And then again, how I stand apart from other realtors is that I offer this service. So when I'm meeting with sellers, they don't have to worry about having to hire a stager because I am a stager.
Yeah.
So I have, again, it's a cost. I have a storage full of decor.
Mm.
I don't really offer like the furniture, but there is a staging company where they'll come and deliver furniture if my sellers need furniture. But I have everything else, like the rugs and the lamps and all the decor that goes in all the rooms. And actually, he came to one of my listings and helped
Mhm.
unload the truck.
Really?
So there's the U-Haul that I rent as well. And then I have, a team that helps me. Of course, actually, my mom, she's retired, and she's my team. I say she's my assistant, but she's really not my assistant. She's kind of more like my boss when it comes to that. And staging, so it's called staging, and staging matters. I've sold houses swiftly and got my sellers top dollar, so it also maximizes their home value just
Mhm.
by staging a home.
Yeah.
The 3 most important things I tell my sellers: 1, let's make sure your house is clean. Deep clean your house. 2, paint. Paint is, cheap. Nothing I'm not doing anything major, but paint can transform a room. And then number 3, let's remove all your personal items. Let's declutter. We'll do that first before you clean, but let's declutter, because this house is a product. It's no longer your home.
Mm.
We are marketing this house for the future homeowner. So when buyers come in, you want you want the house to be neutral so they can imagine themselves in it. So they can say, "Oh, okay, I can see me having this piece of furniture here or
Mhm.
there." And I have to explain to my sellers, they're like, "Well, what's wrong with my art? It's beautiful. I spent this much money on it." Nothing's wrong with your art. But again, we have to be a little bit more neutral, because you don't know. I mean, I even tell people, don't have your Viking stuff up or don't have your Eagle stuff up, because
Yeah.
it's emotional for buyers and sellers, because it's like their biggest investment in their life. Real estate is people's biggest investment. So it's a lot of money. So buyers can be really picky about stuff. I mean, I even had a phone call from a realtor saying, "Oh, well, it would have been helpful if you would have told me that someone was in the house," because they don't want the people there when they're showing their buyers a house.
Mm.
He said it really turned his buyer off when there was somebody, I guess there was the seller had one of their relatives in the house. They were there.
Oh.
Yeah, that lived there. And so there's a lot of, and it's just like the person doesn't come with the home.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but back to the staging piece, that's very important. Like I have a brand, and I have standards, and I won't. I've had to turn down selling homes when they try to tell me, what to. I'm like, well, did you tell your dentist or your plumber or your doctor what to do? But
Yeah.
they'll let me know, like, oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and keep my daughter's slide in the little those Fisher Price
Oh, I
toys.
know what you're talking
I'm gonna keep the
about.
slide in the living room, or I'm gonna keep all this stuff. So it's like, no, this is not gonna work, because I'm not gonna have my name on this.
Yeah.
So I have a brand, and I have integrity in what I do. And then plus too, I'm like, you're with sellers, I have to explain to them too, you're catering to that buyer. You want them to feel comfortable in purchasing your home. So, but back to the staging, it works. And
Mhm.
I even have like client, if you go and you Google my name, you'll see some of my clients' testimonials, and
Mm.
and I have also during closing done videos with my sellers, like sharing their experience, and they're like, at first we didn't like it because it was a hard work,
Yeah.
but it was hard. What was hard work was because people that live in their home for like 30 years, they have to declutter and they have to throw things away. I
Yeah.
had helped an older couple. They lived in their house for like 30 years, and we went through like 3 dumpsters. You know, I know. So, and it's tough because people get comfortable in their home.
Mhm.
And, if they have animals, and then it's like, okay, well, we're going to have to get this carpet pulled because your cats were peeing on the carpet. And, I have to have these conversations with them, but you just don't understand like how many sellers you have to explain this to them, the process, because
Yeah.
I feel like they should know this, but they just, sometimes they don't. So
Yeah.
they have to, you have to build trust with them, and, and it's an emotional, it can be difficult. I've had
Yeah.
difficult clients, but we
Mhm.
get through it.
Yeah.
And at closing, they're happy when when the sellers, when they get that check, because, if I sold it for so much more and they get that check, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, I see what you were talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, so anything?
It's Ryan's turn to ask the next
Oh,
question.
my question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what traits or skill sets do you think separates the really good realtors and real estate agents from the average ones?
The ones that are consistent and don't give up. And when I mean consistent, like they're showing up and they're doing the work,
Mhm.
and showing up and doing the work, compared to ones that just talk. You have to show up. If you get invited, start showing up to, if someone invites you to a birthday party, if someone invites you to this and that, because again, it's about, you're building your business and you want to be relevant. And I'm not saying just to, show up because you want to try to, get business, but it's just showing up when you get invited to things,
Yeah.
being in the community. So I think that's like the most important, and just building, you have to build trust with people so they can trust you as the expert. And once you graduate, we'll talk more about, ideas on what I do for people to trust me as the expert. So, yeah.
My last question is, when it comes to being a realtor in this day and age, where do you think most people go wrong when it comes to promoting themselves or marketing?
Well, I'm not the one to keep like posting on Instagram and posting uh, things about real estate. Like I post my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. If I'm going to a new business, like if I'm going to a new restaurant, or if I'm at the community boutique, I'm there doing a video and promoting that business. If I'm traveling, I'm posting that so people can really get to know who I am. I see a lot of realtors that are always like posting stuff about like real estate, how, statistics. That gets boring to people after a while.
Mhm.
I want people to know me as a person.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I do. I don't really do a whole lot of posting on Instagram. I don't use TikTok. Uh, I guess I'll rely on Ryan to kind of do that stuff later on. But I guess you gotta choose your platforms and use them wisely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think. Did that kind of go?
No, that's a good response. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Ryan, do you have any more questions for
No,
me?
that was my only one.
Okay. Well, now we're going into segment 4, which is a trivia game.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wanting to give you the mic to kind of lead this game. I'm really excited to see like how it's gonna go.
Yeah. I just
So
have some fun questions.
yeah.
I don't know if I should just go by like first ask you and then take turns. I don't know if we should take turns or
It's kind of whatever you're
okay.
feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
You can
right.
start right now.
Okay. So then we'll start with you.
Okay.
The first step to buying a home should be getting pre-approved by a lender. True or false?
Mm, false.
What's that?
True.
Do you want to explain to her why?
uh, I mean, I actually can't explain
Okay.
why to a
So
T.
the first step is you have to make sure you have the money. So yes, you want to get it pre-approved by a lender. You want to go to the bank. So yeah, because
Oh.
I'll ask. I don't know if you understand. Yeah, because if someone comes to me
Yeah.
and they say, "I want you to show me homes," I need to see that pre-approval, or else we're wasting time. We can't offer anything. So you have to have the money. So you have to get pre-approved.
Yeah.
So that's what a pre-approval is. A lender is pre-approving, letting you know
Yeah.
that you are approved, and this is how much money you're approved for to buy a house.
Oh, I was thinking you had to clean out the house first. 'Cause
Oh, no, you're thinking from buy. Okay, so
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
So the first step to buying a home. So for buyers.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, let's say you say to me, I want to buy
I want to
a
buy
house.
a house.
The first thing I'm gonna ask you, do you have a lender? And you say no. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few of my lenders' phone numbers so you can talk to them first, so you
Mhm.
guys can go through your credit and your debt to ratio and all of that. So
Yeah.
then they can let you know if you can buy a house right now, and if you can, how much are you approved for?
Yeah.
Are you approved for 200,000, 300,000? So that's the first step for a buyer.
Okay.
So yeah,
Thank you.
welcome. Okay, Ryan. You can skip hiring a realtor because Zillow has all the information you need. True or false?
False.
Correct. Okay, so back to you, Blessing.
Yeah.
This might be a lot. Let me find an easy one for her because you're taking your courses already. Okay. What is the first step to buying a home? A, touring houses. C, hiring movers. B, getting pre-approved. Or D, picking paint colors.
Can you give me the
What is the first step to buying a home?
Okay.
A, touring houses. B, hiring movers. C, getting pre-approved. Or D, picking paint colors.
Would it be C? Getting wait. I feel like you're trying to trick me. 'Cause
Just go with your first instinct. on it.
I'm gonna say C.
Yes, I was tricking you. It was just multiple. It was just a multiple choice instead of a true or false.
I was like, these sound like the similar question.
Okay. Ryan, what is a contingency? A type of loan. B, a condition that must be met for the sale to move forward. Or C, a fee buyers pay at closing.
B.
A condition that must be met for the sale to move forward. Exactly. Yes. Can
Can you talk about how contingents go into
Yes,
play? Because I'm actually
yes.
like so interested right now.
Oh, so a contingency is so when I write a purchase agreement for my buyer,
Yeah.
they will have a few contingencies. One may be a financing contingency, meaning that they have a loan, but their loan is still going through the process. Okay, so while they're going through underwriting, if they for some reason lose that financing, then they're able to legally cancel the purchase agreement because a purchase agreement is a contract.
Okay.
So they will be able to. So we have a financing contingency, so they'll be able to cancel that contract and get their earnest money back. And we'll talk about the earnest money later too. So then there's an inspection contingency. A buyer will want to get an inspection on the home before they purchase it. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's still that contingency in the contract. So after they get the inspection done and it comes back, and actually this just happened to me recently on a house. So I got a cancellation because the buyer got a little freaked out over something that wasn't really a big of a deal, but that was a contingency. So there's these contingencies
Yeah.
that there are in place where you can cancel the contract and not move forward in purchasing the home. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. All right. After an offer is accepted, the buyer can still walk away if inspections reveal serious issues. True or false?
False.
I'll repeat it one more time. After an offer is accepted, the buyer can still walk away if inspections reveal serious issues.
Why is that confusing me too?
Well, because I just mentioned it. So
Right.
I just mentioned that there's an inspection contingency.
Yeah.
So after the inspection report, after the buyer reviews the inspection report
Yeah.
and there's some serious issues, the buyer can walk away. They can change their mind. They don't have to follow through with the purchase of the home because that was a contingency.
Okay.
Inspection contingency.
Okay.
So we have a contract in place,
Yeah.
but there are some contingencies on that where, so contingency means, I guess the definition of a contingency would mean something, I don't know, I'm not temporary. It'd be interesting if you kind of look up that.
I got you.
Yeah. So because you can use contingency in a lot of other ways, but it's basically saying, it's kind of tentative.
Okay.
Something's contingent.
So when I search up contingent, it says a future event or circumstance which is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. So that goes along exactly with what you're saying.
Great. Thank you for that. Okay.
So true.
It's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's a part in the purchase agreement that says buyer will get an inspection, yes or no. So some buyers, I've had some buyers that they say, I want this house, it's competitive, I don't want to lose it. They won't get an inspection. But there's some buyers that will get an inspection, but then there's a next sentence in that contract that says, this inspection will not, the buyer will get the inspection, but this is not going to be a contingent upon the buying of the house. So they're saying they just want to get an inspection, but they're not going to cancel if even based on the report that they get. I know. So there's a lot of different things, and you'll learn that more in the contract. So, and it's all about, because, when the market is very competitive and a buyer really wants a house, I have to help them make a competitive offer.
Yeah.
Because they might be going against 2 or 3 other buyers.
Yeah.
And those other buyers might have more money to put down. They may have a stronger offer. So when I'm sitting down with my buyers, I'm educating them. I'm showing them what an offer looks like. I'm like, this is the offer that I'll be writing for you. And then I'll go through that entire offer with them. Some realtors don't do that. Some realtors won't show them, but I want them to know everything that, like, from A to Z. So, yeah. Okay. I know it can be, so that's why I wanted to do these, because I know it can come across. Okay, so what does a home inspector typically check? A, the home's vibe. B, roof, electrical, plumbing, foundation. Or C, what the neighbors are like.
I want to say A, but could you please read over those?
Yes. What does a home inspector typically check? A, the home's vibe. B.
Wait, it's B. I just realized what I said. It's B. It's B. I was like, correct. The vibe. Okay.
Okay. So, what does an appraisal determine? A, how cute the house looks. B, the home's market value for the lender. C, how many offers it will get.
B.
Correct. The home's market value for the lender. Okay.
And are these the type of questions that would be on a test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So, do we have time for a couple more?
Yeah, let's do like 2 more. And
okay.
End off.
If a house goes viral on TikTok, does its property value automatically go up?
I like how you made the questions like Gen Z questions. Because, like, that's actually funny.
Yeah. You want to repeat it?
Yeah.
If a house goes viral on TikTok, does its property value automatically go up? True or false?
False.
Great. Yep.
Okay.
So, what's more important when buying a home? A, location. B, countertops. C, school district.
Location.
Correct. Okay.
Wait, can I hear that question again?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah. What's more important when buying a home? A, location. B, countertops. C, school district.
And he said B?
Location.
Oh, location.
It's always location, location, location.
Okay.
Because school district could be important to people if they have, children, but it's always really about location.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Wow, this has been a beautiful episode.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
I've been really excited to like learn more about like you guys' perspective and like real estate and everything. So this has been a really great episode. So now for closing and final thoughts, like if you guys have anything else you'd like to say before the episode ends.
Let me look at my notes just to make sure.
I know because you did say one word earlier that you were gonna come back to, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember it.
Oh, I was just saying earnest money. So earnest money is good faith money. So like when my buyers make an offer on a house and the sellers accept the offer when they sign it, my buyers have 48 hours to submit earnest money, and that's good faith money to show that they're serious.
Okay.
It's not down payment money. Down payment money is separate. That's like putting down payment down on the house.
Yeah.
So that earnest money just shows good faith. And the reason why I brought that up is just in case they cancel my buyers cancel the contract due to financing falling apart or due to inspection results, they will get their earnest money back.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you. Ryan, do you have any more closing thoughts before we end off this episode?
Yeah, I would just like to thank you for having us, and for anyone that's watching that wants to do real estate or just anything in general that involves business, I would say be ignorant to the fact of you wanting to do what you want to do. So just have confidence and belief in yourself, and everything will go into place. So yeah.
Yeah. And just to say too, if you're a buyer or a seller or a business owner, and you don't have that, you may have a realtor in your family or something, but if you just want to talk to someone else, give me a call. And I also have on my I don't you can go on my website, it's estrellacarter.com, but I have this online tool. It's called down payment assistance eligibility. So for potential buyers, if you want to figure out your financing, you can take this online assessment on how much down payment you'd be eligible for. So I'm a resource person because I was a social worker. So I have a lot when it comes to real estate now, have a lot of resources. So don't hesitate, to give me a call. My phone number is 651-338-4207. Here's my magazine. Blessing wants, you're going to get your magazine, but this one's for his mama. And again, I do residential real estate, commercial, help with investments, all of that. So, and again, if you're also interested in being a realtor, give me a call and we can talk about that.
Thank you. And Ryan, where can people find you on any social media platforms if they wanted to connect with you in the future?
Yeah, my Instagram, RyanKaydea, and I'm going to start another account for just strictly real estate purposes once I'm done with all my courses and stuff. But yeah, as of right now, that's all.
Okay, perfect. Well, this has been another great episode. Again, this is episode 2 of my December Post-A-Thon, where I'm posting one episode every week for the month of December as a gift to myself and my viewers. So thank you guys so much. Please be tuned for the next episode dropping next week, Monday, where I will be having my solo episode 22 and still growing. Really looking forward to that episode. It's going to be a really deep and personal episode. So thank you guys so much and stay tuned. Watch the podcast on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. And thank you again. This is the Blogging with B podcast. I'm your host,